are prayers different from one another? Hindu prayers are very different from Christians and Muslim prayers, and also from the Sikh, Buddhist and the Jain prayers. Prayers exist in a mythic worldview, and depending on the worldview, the nature of the prayer is different. For example, Buddhists and Jains do not believe in the concept of a single all-powerful God that is found in Islam, Christianity and Sikhism. So naturally, a Buddhist prayer is bound to be different from a Muslim, Christian and Sikh one. Christians, Muslims and Sikhs believe in all-powerful, singular, formless God. The purpose of their prayers is to acknowledge this God and experience humility before God's greatness and grandeur. In Christians, there is an additional purpose to ask for forgiveness for their sins, a concept not found in Islam. In Islam, prayers is reinforcing the article of faith that God is great and there is no God but Allah. Everything happens because of Allah. In Sikhism, the prayer acknowledges the formless singular God treats all creatures equally, thus alluding to the social inequality that is part of the Hindu faith. The Sikhs also acknowledge their gurus just as the Muslims acknowledge the Prophet and Christians acknowledge Jesus as the Son of God who leads one towards God. In these prayers, there is a sense of consistency and homogeneity, as everyone is part of one single faith. There is no other way of praying. No innovations are allowed. The church, the mosque, the gurdwara are places where the faithful gather and everyone all together prays in the same way, using the same prayer and the same rituals. This evokes the sense of equality before God and the humility before a powerful force. In Buddhism, prayers are not offered to any deity. They are meant to help the mind focus and concentrate and make the journey towards either the mindlessness or the mindfulness. Here, prayer is part of a meditative process that is central to Buddhism. In some Buddhist schools, one does pray to the Adi Buddha or the eternal Buddha who lives in the pure land of Sukhavati and watches all over the humanity as Bodhisattva, or to the Buddha Chitta with all the human beings. Thus, there is an object of the prayer who is a wise teacher or the wisdom, possibility but not to God. In Jainism, prayers are offered to great sages, teachers, gurus, deities who enable the Jain on this personal journey of purification. Every individual prays in his individual way based on the prescribed techniques and rituals. There are special prayers where holy men, the Tirthankars, are celebrated and their glory is acknowledged. There is, however, no all-powerful God here who controls one's destiny or makes the rules about the world. The gods and the gurus enshrined in temples are those who help us negotiate our way through this world, and that is an impersonal, infinite and eternal entity functioning within its own rules. Some Hindus will say the act of praying is good enough. This is karma yoga. Others will say that the emotion accompanying the prayer is more important than the prayer. This is bhakti yoga. Some will say that the meaning of the words of the prayer are important and they reveal the truth of the universe. This is the Jnana Yoga. Purpose of a Hindu prayer is to invoke the deity, Avahan, praise them, Arati, and eventually ask for their help, Falastuti. The gods are addressed in a very personal term. Their form is described, their attributes admired, their adventures recounted. The prayer seems like a petition, almost transactional. For after praising the deity for helping so many in distress, the devotee asks for the psychological well-being as well as the solution to his or her problems. In Hindu prayers, there is no concept of confession, though a devotee can seek forgiveness from a deity if he wants to overcome his guilt and shame, but that does not guarantee escape from what is written in his karma. Prayers can be made to various forces like planets and directions to improve living conditions and to give away all the negative forces. Different gods are called upon for different purposes and different occasions. Saraswati is favored in schools, Lakshmi in business, Durga by politicians. The same devotee can pray to different gods at different times in different moods as per his need. There is no obsession with monotheism. Depending on the comfort, every deity is seen as different, and every deity is seen as the manifestation of the same singular divine. Prayers to villages or family gods create a sense of community, but may not be appreciated by the people from outside the village or the family. Prayers that are very popular in Vedic terms have given away to the prayers that are more popular to the common folk, like the Hanuman Chalisa in local dialect of Hindi. Some prayers are meant for temples, some for household purposes, some can be offered anywhere and anytime. Some can be long elaborate hymns with correct pronunciation and melody. Some require just chanting a hymn or the God's name repeatedly. Some prayers are part of the rituals, some are not. Some are meant for the deity outside, some are meant to calm one's mind so that the deity inside our body temple is pleased. Regular household prayers have long been used by our parents to educate the children in the ways of culture. Bhajans and kirtans have become popular during the freedom struggle to create community groups across religions, sections and societies. Thus, prayers are highly customized into individual needs, though strongly influenced by family and other social forces. A Hindu prayer is marked by diversity. There are Vedic prayers, prayers in Sanskrit, prayers in regional languages. There are prayers with only rituals and no words. There are communal bhajans and kirtans. And there are private prayers chanted only by the priests in the temples and not for the common folk. There are different prayers for Shiva, for Vishnu, for Ram, for Krishna, for Durga, for Saraswati. This multifaceted, diverse and different and dynamic approach to prayer, where you can substitute one with the other, is only unique in Hinduism. Thank you for listening to us. I hope our article has been meaningful to you. Please subscribe our channel for more notable information.